Dear Agent, the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act of 2010 has been enacted, and yet the ongoing issues of health care and HMOs in this country remain a top priority of all Americans, citizens and government alike, one that must be addressed and corrected if all Americans are to have affordable and good health care. The crisis is growing, with many people looking back to the good old days when family physicians made house calls and knew their patients' names without having to look at the charts. Office visits lasted more than 5 minutes. Insurance companies didn't demand that policyholders get permission for every medical procedure they required, and when the patient was more important than the stockholder. The Managed Care Blues, A Doctor's Bittersweet Journey, is a book written for all of us, not just for healthcare professionals. It is easy to read, educational, relevant for anyone who is or could become a patient, and explains personal and national healthcare economics in a way that is simple to understand. The book will have a full-time marketing team, including the author and a hired marketing director. A market research study with very positive results has been done. Dr. Patwin Peckham, a practicing physician and medical educator, has written a powerful moving memoir under his pseudonym, Gavin Press MD, on his experiences as an affiliate with one of California's largest HMOs. Peckham writes of his early influences in his childhood that led him to pursue a medical career. He chronicles his years of study to reach his goal, taking the Hippocratic Oath, his internship, residency, and finally, practicing medicine, only to see his influence and decisions underscored because he must ultimately answer to higher powers, management and stockholders of for-profit health insurance companies. Dr. Peckham has a book proposal that he will send you, which includes sample chapters of the Managed Care Blues. This is a completed manuscript. Please contact him if you wish to read the proposal. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay, and you know what I didn't ask you in the beginning was when you come up here, just give us your name and the title of the book. Okay, so tell us your name.
Patwin Peckham.
Okay. And it's called The Managed Care Blues, Doctor's Journey?
Bittersweet Journey.
Doctor's Bittersweet Journey. Okay, what do we think, guys?
Long?
It's long? Okay.
I'm on the fiction side. It felt very long to me as well, but I also am not as much of an expert on the nonfiction query letter and whether that's appropriate or not.
Okay. Let's take a look at this. May I?
Sure.
That's how long it is. Okay, so I would say that that was about, I don't know, 600, 650 words?
I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that that was about, so I'm not bothered with the length. Yeah, I'm not bothered with the length. Because he hasn't tried to cram it in, it's a 12-point, you put a heading up there. Length's okay, okay.
I thought you had information in there that didn't need to be in the query letter as part of the book. And I also was confused about the other book that you wrote, and you were writing as if it was third person rather than using I wrote. You wrote the other book, right?
Well, this is one book.
Right.
Oh, you said you also wrote another.
Okay, but now he can't answer.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's confusion over here. Anyone else get that confusion? Okay, good. You see? So now we're giving you some good feedback. Alrighty. So anyone else? Any other critiquing? Yeah, go ahead.
I thought that you could start with that nice sentence that you had, times are gone when patients were more important than whatever. I would start with something that they relate to immediately, or when was the last time you saw a doctor, how long did it take you to see one? Then it gets their attention, because the facts that you state that you could see a doctor, you could be x-rayed, you could do this and that, that goes without saying. When we say those times are gone, it sort of tells whoever is reading it that you're referring to the time that
it's a bittersweet story.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
What caught me was just what you said too, but I think I like the fact that you said the crisis is growing. And if you could have gone right into that crisis, I think you would have put more.
Okay. Go ahead back there.
What I was feeling was hidden passion, that this story is probably very personal and that there's a lot of emotion, a lot of caring about it, but the language was distant, and I would have wanted it to be personal, immediate impact.
And so this is nonfiction memoir? Is this a memoir?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
so you heard that feedback? Intimacy. Okay, good. In front.
Agree somewhat, and also with the, in terms of the times are gone, I would have had more positive about your, move that up in the place of so many other facts, because people want one or two instances, but I think that you're overboard too many facts about the negative environment.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question. In a sentence, what's the story about?
Doctors are patients too.
Well, the loss of control.
Okay.
What we compare
Okay.
to the corporate insurance companies.
Okay. Anyone else? Because I want to jump in here. Okay. You heard the doctor is a patient too. You should write that down. You heard loss of control. You really should, because you're writing a memoir, okay? And you heard over here about intimacy. Why do we read memoirs, ladies and gentlemen? Why?
Because we relate to them.
Okay. Because we want to be intimate. Otherwise, we would read a how-to book in nonfiction. Isn't that correct? We want that intimacy. And you are the person to provide it. Now, I should tell you that I'm a psych nurse practitioner of many years. And I still work in healthcare. And I love this book. Okay, this is a book that absolutely must be written. And I hope it's the first of many of these kinds of books, because he's the only one who can write it. You got to be in the trenches. You've got to be in the trenches to know what the hell has happened to our healthcare delivery system. He's the reliable narrator. I adore the title, The Managed Healthcare. I love that title. I love the fact that it's bittersweet. Now again, I'm coming from an insider, so I have a little bit more than you in terms of what I'm bringing to this. However, having said that, there are several speed bumps in this letter that your peers have identified. One of them is that when you talked about that other book, or let's see that letter. You lost me. I think it was third paragraph. Okay, Dr. Brown, a practicing physician, medical educator, has written a powerful and moving memoir under his pseudonym, Galvin Preston, and okay, it sounded like another book.
It does, okay.
Okay, and that's where you got confused, right?
Yeah, I thought it was 2 books.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was a huge. This is a. Do you mind?
No,
Okay,
no, please.
that's a
Go ahead.
huge speed bump. Okay, the fact that you talked about the marketing here in the second paragraph. Put that in the bottom, and don't talk about any team. Don't talk about what you're going to do. This goes right back to what I was talking about in the beginning. Don't talk about this team that you got in place. Show me. You blogging?
Yes.
Okay.
My marketing director is.
Okay. Are
Yeah,
you
I'm a marketing
blogging?
guy.
Are you blogging?
He's tweeting, Facebook page.
Okay, good. Are you
all that.
blogging your intimate experience with this? Are you offering
No.
something? Okay. I would really encourage you to do that. This book, at this point, from this query letter, reads like a physician's note. Okay, and I've read a few. But I love it. I love the idea of this book. This could be a very, very hot book. Because the healthcare crisis is, you're going to see it in the next year. By the time 2014 comes, I mean, this book should be ready and should be shopped and should be, out there. Because he absolutely has his finger on the pulse of what has happened, the chaos that we're in right now, and if we have an opportunity to reorganize this chaotic system that we created in the 80s, now is the time with the new healthcare legislation that's coming up. So you're perfectly timed, you're perfectly positioned because of your experience. But if this is going to be a memoir, make it read like one. Get us to feel connected to you. give us a voice that is intimate. I loved the first paragraph. And I wanted the rest. The first paragraph was about the good old days, was about then and now, was about where is it going. I loved that, and I was really excited. And then in the second one, you went off on marketing, and in the third one, I thought, why is he talking about his other book? Okay? So do you see speed bumps? Helpful? And that's called a quick query critique. Now, I didn't shift the content around. I didn't tell him what he has to do. You didn't tell him what he has to do. You just told him what does not work. And we got a consensus here, so we're probably on the money. You know what I mean? We're probably in the ballpark. Okay, good.